Yeah, my name is Mark Stevenson. I'm a specialist practitioner with Lancashire Care. I work for a part of the trust called the Bipolar and Psychosis Psychological Care Network. We really need to get a shorter title. I'm a mental health nurse by background and a CBT therapist. So I've come to talk to you today about the Mood on Track programme, which we've been running throughout Lancashire Care areas for the past couple of years. Okay, so this is some of the team, some of my colleagues over here, and we actually won a national award recently. It's called the Positive Practice Award in Mental Health in 2017. Not for inventing the Mood on Track programme, because this is something that we borrowed from Birmingham and Solihull NHS Trust with their permission, but I guess for the rollout of something that had already been in practice that was shown to help and applying it to our area. Okay. So what is the Mood on Track programme? Well, it's a structured evidence-based CBT-informed psychological therapy. It's designed to help those with a diagnosis of bipolar in their personal recovery. It informs and complements existing care, so it's an add-on to what's actually happening for people in CMHTs, so be that medication or support from the care coordinator. It helps people learn and share skills and utilise their existing resources and things that they've obviously learned throughout their lives to help cope with bipolar disorder. I guess the whole idea is to help people manage the mood more effectively. And an important part, I think what we found an important part of the Mood on Track programme is it helps bring people together with similar experiences. Yeah. And the whole idea is it's to help people stay well and prevent relapse. Okay. So it's a CBT approach, so it's based on the cognitive model. So it's not break time, but this is the hot cross bun. And this is an analogy we'd use on the course to help people understand how thoughts, emotions, biological sensations and behaviour all interact with each other. So yeah, we use the analogy of the hot cross bun. So Cbt Characteristics. So it's based on a really good therapeutic alliance. So we meet with people before the course starts. So CBT is collaborative. So it's not about us telling people how things are. It's about learning together. It's quite an active therapy, so that might involve quite a few home tasks for people to be involved in between sessions. It's problem orientated. Time limited, so the Mood on Track programme, it's about 16 sessions. I guess it's over a 12-week period. Very structured, so there's a lot of information to give over to people. It's based on behavioural awareness and guided discovery. So the cognitive model would say how we interpret events will have consequences for how we feel and behave. So interpretations are often maintained by ways of thinking or unhelpful ways of thinking and behavioural responses. Yeah, and interpretations are often influenced by our core beliefs, which are formed as a result of life experience. So a key principle of CBT is the Socratic Method or Socratic dialogue, and it's based on Socrates, who asked questions of people rather than imparting information. So I can't teach anybody about anything, I can only make them think. I guess that's what we're trying to do, is help people reach their own conclusions during the programme, presenting quite a lot of information and helping people learn something on the course. Okay. So in true Socratic method, so ask questions what and how. So what is the Mood on Track programme? This is a group program that aims to help people with a diagnosis of bipolar learn more about how to manage the mood. It's evidence-based. There's been quite a lot of research into, particularly, well, Fiona was saying that research into what was happening in Birmingham and Solihull and how effective the therapy was. So it's something that we've taken that's been shown to help and applied it to Lancashire. It's based on CBT principles. The course consists of 10 to 12 weekly sessions, group sessions, and then 3 to 4 individual sessions to consolidate the learning from the course. So sessions are dedicated to delivering information about the condition, what is bipolar, how it's diagnosed, ways to manage the lows and highs, spotting early signs of problem mood swings with plans to manage those. So there's a lot of emphasis on catching it early. We talk about medication on the course and people's experiences of taking some of the medications that are used to help manage the condition, and also problem substances to avoid. It's focused on ways of improving well-being. And then there's a whole session taken over about how to learn maybe relaxation techniques or mindfulness. And also help provide an opportunity for people to have a go at that. And it might be the first time that people have used some of those skills to try and help with the mood. Okay. So how? It's 10 modules. So the first module is getting started, an introduction. So imagine a group of people coming together for the first time, meeting each other. It's quite an anxiety-provoking experience. So I guess the introduction is quite an important session for people to come together and discuss and start to get to know each other and settle down. It can be quite anxiety-provoking. So we talk a lot about what bipolar is and their people's experiences of how they've arrived in that room together. So we talk about understanding mania. That's a whole module. Then understanding depression. A whole session given over to understanding medication. And then talking about the role of stress in bipolar disorder and the importance of managing stress. There's a family session, so some areas do it differently. It could either be we invite some carers in or supporters in to the session, have a discussion about how people are affected by bipolar disorder and the impact on the family. We then go on to talk about coping with mania in another module, and then coping with depression. And then mind and body stimulation control, which is the relaxation session, learning different relaxation techniques and mindfulness. And then the last one is managing special situations and put it all together and starting to introduce a staying well plan and a relapse prevention plan. I'm going to have to speed up a bit, I think. So it's accompanied by a manual, which, Roy, could you pass me the manual over? So that's the manual there. So each session there's a handout of information which builds up week by week, a bit like a periodical. And at the end of the course, everyone will have that pack to take away, which they'll have done their exercise, hopefully done the homework in between sessions. It will be quite an individualised piece of work at the end. So it's really useful that people can look back and maybe some of the things that have been learnt on the course. And people keep this, and it's a really useful resource. So why? Basically, there was an audit that said that 1 in 10 people with a diagnosis of bipolar were offered a psychological treatment. So I guess our job really as a network is to try and improve that number to somewhere more like 7 out of 10, 8 out of, well, everybody ideally, but it needs to be better than 1 out of 10. So it's based on national guidance from from NICE. that we need to be offering a structured psychological intervention, and our take on it's been this group program called the Mood on Track program. So yeah, that's all from the nice guidance of what should be included in the program. So who? It's for service users in community mental health teams with a diagnosis of bipolar. So the credit really has to go to Dr. Sandra George from Birmingham Solihull, who wrote the programme, and that's where it's been running for 10 years. I think there's been a lot of collaboration with the Spectrum Centre, and it's been run in our area for two years. So where and when? It's in community mental health teams throughout Lancashire. There's quite a few of those, I think there's 6 or 7. And it's always held in NHS sites throughout the trust. So I guess the most important statistics really, so I've not got loads of statistics, but it's really feedback from the questionnaires that we give to people, or the experience of questionnaires. And I don't know whether people can read. Can you see that? It's quite tiny. But basically quite a lot of good feedback. So I don't know if these slides are being made available at the end, so it might be something that people could have a read. Yeah. It just seems that people get a lot out of the programme at the end, and I guess that differs from person to person. That's quite a lot. Okay. No questions?
Can I just ask one question before you finish, which is if anybody wanted to access it, can they do that at the moment, or how would they find out about it?
So they'd have to, at the moment, have to be within a CMHT.
Right, so they'd talk to their care coordinator?
Yeah. So if they've got a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and the care coordinator's working with them, so routinely, hopefully the care coordinator is making them aware of psychological interventions, and that's something they'll come and talk to me about. In Lancaster and Morecambe, obviously colleagues throughout the trust are there working alongside other community mental health teams. So that's a good link if people want to know exactly what we did and how we did it, which I guess will be available in the slides afterwards. Okay, so that's it.